Welcome to SIRA MCQ YouTube channel. Today we discuss advanced level A-level accounting paper 2023 question number. Which question? Question number 6. This is the equation impact we must identify. Look here, what are the requirements? Which of the following accounting equations reflects means showing the net impact. Net impact means there are increase in or decrease in, or after the increase in and decrease in there's a net increase or net decrease we must identify of transactions number 3 and number 4. Only we must concentrate to transaction number 3 and 4. Look here, the equation is asset equal, next one is liability plus equity. I create this equation, assets equal liabilities plus equity. I use thousands. Okay, we must identify only question number, the transaction number 3 and 4. Okay, let's see the question. This business is already registered for VAT, value added tax. Therefore, we must concentrate to VAT. Question number, transaction number 3. Look here, sold goods costing 250. The cost of goods are 250,000 for 345,000 on cash inclusive of 45,000 VAT. Look here, we must create there is schedule. What is that? At the sales point we can create this schedule. Cost of the stocks plus gross profit, that's profit, gross profit. After that we can identify the selling price without VAT. Selling price without VAT. After that we can add VAT amount. We add VAT amount. After that we can identify another selling price included VAT. Let's see the selling price. We can identify selling price with VAT. Selling price with VAT. This is included VAT in this selling price. Therefore, we must identify what are the amounts of these topics. Okay, let's see. Costing, sold goods costing 250. The cost of this is 250. Cost is there 250. Okay, next one. They said 250 for 345 on cash. 4 means we sell to customer 345 inclusive of VAT. This 345 is selling price for 345. 4 means we sold. Okay, we sold 345 inclusive of 45 VAT. Inclusive means this selling price included 45 VAT. Therefore, 345 is a selling price. Which selling price? VAT included price 345. What is the VAT amount? VAT amount is 45. What is the selling price without VAT? This selling price included 45 VAT. Without VAT selling price is 300. Okay, 300 plus VAT amount, 345 is selling price with VAT. Okay, next one. What is the gross profit? The gap between this one and this one, 50. This is the schedule. This is the sold the goods in cash. On cash, look here, sold goods on cash. Okay, let's see. At that time, I firstly create the impact, their increase or decrease up to this point without that. Okay, what is the transaction? 200, cost of 250 goods sold to 300 with gross profit 50. The impact is cost is 250. Cost must be deduct from inventory, stocks. There is a cash sales no. Therefore at the cash sales, at the sales point, cash must be received. Okay, therefore 300 must be add to another asset. 300 is cash. After that, gross profit is 50 is connected to the equity. This is the gross profit. This is the up to this point. After that, we must identify the VAT. Okay, firstly we must identify the double entries of VAT. You know what is the cash sales no? What is the double entry for cash sales? Cash sales means selling price no? Cash debit, cash control, debit 300. Okay, credit to sales account. Sales credit 300. This is the double entry. Okay, what is the double entry for VAT amount? Look here, sales credit no? Sales credit, based on that. Sales credit, VAT is credit. Sales credit, based on that, VAT must be credit. VAT control credit 45. Debit to cash control. Cash control debit 45. We must identify this impact to equation. Look here, this is the transaction. You know, assets are debit to credit. Assets are debit dials. These persons' liabilities are normally credit dials. Equity is a credit dial, another credit dial. Therefore, we must use the double entry for this one. Look here, cash control debit. Cash is asset no? Cash debit. Look here, cash is there, cash is asset. There is a debit shot no? Cash is normally debit dial. This is the cash dial is debit dial. This shot is debit shot. Therefore, we must add this one. This is debit dials. We like to debits. Therefore, the debit shot is there. Cash control is debit. We must add this. Why? This is the same persons. There is a debit of cash 45. Cash was debit. Debit means we must add this one. Okay. Next one. The next shot is VAT shot. Okay. VAT control credit. VAT is the liability. Liabilities are normally credit dials. Okay. Look here. This shot is VAT control credit. Credit 45. Look here. VAT is a credit dial. The new shot is credit shot. Therefore, the credit to credit. They are happy. Therefore, I add this 45 VAT control. Okay. Next one. This is the transaction. Firstly, we must identify the sold of goods without VAT up to this point. Okay. After that, we must identify the double entries of VAT amounts. After that, we can increase or decrease the VAT amount. Okay. This is the transaction number 3. We must consider the transaction number 4. transaction number 4 is same to sellings but credit sales. No, transaction number 4, look here, question number 6 says and 4. Okay, transaction number 4, look here, sold goods costing 100 for 138,000 on credit. This is the credit sales inclusive of 18,000 VAT. Okay, costing 100. Based on that, I create this one. This is the our guideline. I fulfill this one. Okay, this is the selling point guideline: cost plus gross profit, selling price without VAT, VAT amount, and selling price with VAT. Therefore, we can create impact of this. Look here, cost is 100. Okay, cost is 100. The next one is 100 for 138. 4 means 4. This is the selling price. Credit on credit inclusive 18,000 VAT. Inclusive means this 138 was included VAT. Therefore, the selling price was included VAT. 138 is selling price with VAT. They included VAT 138. VAT amount is which amount? VAT is 18. What is the selling price without VAT? This is the VAT. The selling price with VAT, no, we can 138 minus 18, 120. Okay, what is the gross profit gap between 100 and selling price without VAT? This is 20. Firstly, I identify impact of up to this point. Cost of 100 goods sold to the selling price is 120. The gross profit is 20 on credit basis. Look here, on credit basis. Okay, let's see the impact. Cost is 100. Cost must be deduct from assets. This is the stocks. What is the gross profit? Gross profit is 20. 20 must be add to equity. Gross profit. This is the credit sales. No, credit sales. At the credit sales, receivable or payable. At the sales point, there must be receivable. Receivable which amount? 120. 120 is receivable, is asset. I add 120 trade receivable. After that, we must be identify the VAT amount. Okay, VAT amount. What is the double entry for VAT amount? What is the double entry for credit sales? Sales credit 120 debit to debtor control. Debit 120. What is the double entry for VAT? Sales credit, no, VAT must be credit. Therefore, VAT double entry, VAT credit, VAT control credit 18 debit to debtor control debit 18. This is the double entry for VAT. This was done. Up to this point was done. The next one is this one, debtor control debit. Debtor control is asset, debit short. Therefore, debtor control is asset. Assets are debit dials. Look here, assets are debit dials. Debtor control debit, no. Therefore, we must add this one, debtor control. We must add 18 trade receivable. Next shot is VAT shot, VAT control credit. VAT control credit. VAT is liability. VAT is liability. Liabilities are credit dials. Therefore, VAT control credit no. Therefore, this is a credit dial. Credit to credit. I add this one. The 18 VAT we can add to liabilities. This is the VAT control. VAT control. This is the impact of transaction number 3 and 4. This is the impact. Look here. Equity 70 plus. Liabilities 63 plus equal to 133 plus. This is impact to equation. 133, 63 plus 70. What is the answer of question number 6? Question number 6. Question number 6. 133, 63, 70. Answer is 5 for question number 6. Answer is 5. In next video we must concentrate to this is the sole business. This is a sole trade business. We must identify this is the error correction. Okay, in next video we must identify the answer of question number 7.